Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. All right. Thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Kansas State women's basketball team. We're joined at the podium by head coach Jeff Mittie and student athletes Serena Sundell and Ayoka Lee. Just a few quick reminders. Please check your cell phone again. Make sure that that's in silence mode. Provide your name and media affiliation. Prior to asking a question, raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone to you. If you're joining on Zoom, we have several on Zoom. Just make sure that you use the raise hand function, and after we get done with questions in the room, we'll get to you if time allows. Recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited, and flash photography is also not permitted. And the locker room is also open for availability at this time. So we will begin with an opening statement by the head coach.
Yeah, well, it's good to be sitting here after a good victory. I thought we got off to a good start. We talked about the pace of this game was going to be critical for us to play it at a pace that we wanted to play it at. And that was going to require some balance offensively. It was going to require some shot discipline. I thought early we had good shot discipline. We were able to get the ball inside. I think that's always slows a running team down, and we wanted to do that. We knew how difficult they would be to defend at the other end, just because, you know, in our league we have a lot of traditional fives, and having to guard shooters out there, having to guard five-person motion can be a difficult challenge for a team. I thought Yoki got off to a great start defensively. Challenged her to as any center, to guard that much space. I thought our group, for the most part, was pretty good at pushing them up and keeping them contained as best we could. But I think it really started from the offensive end. We scored. That's harder to run when you score, and we wanted to have good balance offensively.
We'll open it up for questions for our student athletes.
On three. Oh, there it goes. This was a game that a lot of people thought could be an upset. What do you feel like this performance really says about you guys as a team?
I don't know. I mean, I know we think we're a good team. We're confident coming in. I think we all knew we were capable. We knew we were going to have a size advantage. We knew we knew the coaches were going to do a good job of getting us a good scout and a good game plan. So we were just focused on staying disciplined to what the coaches had for us, which was guarding the three-point line, knowing that they were going to try to find some mismatches there. But yeah, I think when we can all stay committed, stay focused and disciplined to our scout, we're a confident group and we are very capable.
Logan Rundy, WVUF 88.5 in Fairfield. Ayoka, first time out here in almost a month. How did it feel to be back out there and contribute at a high level?
It felt great, yeah. It's been a minute, but I think our like support staff, our athletic trainer, strength coach, just did a great job, just like keeping everything like where it needed to be while I was out, because it's a long time and it's not fun going through that many rehabs, but they're great, and they just did everything that we needed to do and put me through everything I needed to go through to make sure I was ready for this.
Steve Bittenbender, Associated Press. Ayoka, along those lines, you only had to play 15 minutes tonight. Could you have played more if you needed to? And also, how do the feet feel, not having been able to get back out on the court?
Yeah, my feet feel great. Dr. Smith did a great job. I think I could have played more. There wasn't, I don't think any stretches where I came out and I was just like dying. So I think I could have played more, yeah.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Just double check online. I think we're good. Ladies, you can be dismissed. Thank you. All right, we'll open it up for questions for our head coach.
Steve Bittenbender, Associated Press. Jeff, this probably had to be the best result imaginable, especially not having to test Ayoka out too much tonight. how does this help you get ready for Sunday, where you're going to have a more traditional matchup with Kentucky's bigs?
Yeah, I don't know that it'll be a very different game on Sunday. So I think the benefit for this group is just being on the floor for 40 minutes together, playing together, having Lee out there. This was a difficult game for her in terms of, I mentioned that, in terms of just the stylistically. This would not be your preference to go, let's go up against a team that shoots it every 6 seconds and spreads you out, and she has to guard space and all those things. So that concerned me, because one of the things that has been difficult about her is that you can't put too much pounding on the foot in her coming back. So it's not like you can do a ton of agility drills and a ton of things that go into this. So I definitely think she could have played more, but there reached a point where you're going, what if she goes out there and twists an ankle? How am I going to feel on that? So for our group, I thought the start was critical. I thought her being out there, communication-wise, it was good to see that group communicating through things that we don't necessarily see every practice. So that, I think, is the best thing in preparation for another game on Sunday.
Jeff, Ben Baby with ESPN. Given that, had the game been a little bit tighter, did you have a minutes limit in mind on how much you wanted her to play? Was she at full go if you needed? Had the game been closer?
I don't want her to play over 40. Okay, so we'd prefer to keep it in games in regulation. There's not a minute restriction. I mean, there's not. There's probably a feel in the game of if she's gassed, but that wouldn't be any different than any other game, right? Any player that every game takes on its different identity of whether the pace, there's no stoppages in play, there's no, whistles, and so but no, she told me before, she said, I'm ready. There's no minute restrictions. Play me how you want to play me. I talked to her at half. Just said, how you feeling? Do you feel good about the rotations? And she said, yeah, I feel good. Do whatever you want to do with it.
Coach, you have a very tough challenge. You have Georgia Amore on the other side of things against when you play Kentucky on Sunday. She had 34 today. What's the recipe to success in order to shut her down?
You allowed me 6 minutes of enjoyment. I really appreciate those 6 minutes and now we're to the reality. Heck of a player. I don't have any answers as we sit here today. We'll get to looking on film. My staff's been watching, obviously, a lot of film. So we'll get back and dive into that. But a heck of a player. I've watched her play over the years, and she just does everything right. She runs her team well, scores well. I know she scored extremely well today. Just a really good player.
Talia Goodman with On 3. Serena just makes such an impact every time she's on the floor and just so versatile in everything she does. How much have you seen her grow over the last 4 seasons, and just what does she add to this team, in your opinion, maybe outside of, maybe more of like the intangibles that she adds?
She's just such a steady person overall, comes to work every day, enjoys competing. What she has grown, you go her freshman year, her job really was to get us in the right spots and get the ball to Ayoka. And she did that from a few spots on the floor. As she progressed through her time, she really can run 4 different spots. And you see us use her in the post some. Now, not as a 5 necessarily, but we move her around. And that has been the growth of her game, not only understanding the why of what we're doing, but the why of what we need her to do and the why of what we need her to do for the team. And so she understands the game. She understands when she needs to take it over. She understands when she needs to get others involved. And the growth of Taryn Sides and Zy Walker and Jalen Glenn have allowed us to move her around the floor. So, you're right. I think she people see a lot of the things she does at the offensive end, but you got to take a look at what she does defensively. She blocks shots, she rotates, she reads things extremely well. She's one of our top defenders as well. So, I mean, she just does a lot on the floor for us.
We do have a couple of questions by Zooms, but I want to make sure everybody gets their question answered in the room. Okay, Arn, we'll go to you first. Hang on just a second. Let me get you unmuted. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff, you talked about Amore, but also Kentucky's lineup is vastly different from Fairfield's. I think they have like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" across the front line. How is that going to be?
6'7" in there
quite
too,
an
Arn.
adjustment?
Yeah, 6'7" as well.
Oh, but I mean, you were able to lob the ball into Lee in this game, but that may be a little bit more challenging Sunday. What do you have to sort of, I guess, re-scheme for this game?
Well, I think that's always, yeah, there's no doubt Sunday's game is going to be different. And as you mentioned, there's a huge size difference in terms of what we're going to face on Sunday, what we face today. So that will be vastly different. So the lobs are going to have to be better. The spacing's going to have to be better. And certainly Kentucky will prevent or provide different challenges than we saw today. So what I was pleased with today is just simply that you play the game you're in. You play the game you're in, you do the things necessary to win the game that you're in, and now we've got to flip that switch to Sunday, and we've got to put together a game plan to do exactly that against Kentucky, and that'll be very difficult. Kentucky's an outstanding team, and they've got a lot of really, really good pieces.
Landon, we're going to come to you next. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm
There
gonna
you
be
go.
of no help once again.
there we go. Okay.
It only does
Coach,
this with you.
Nice to meet you.
We've got you, Landon.
Cool. How important was that first and third quarter for you guys to get out fast in that way, especially knowing how tight players can be in a tournament setting?
Yeah, I think it was just good to get all 10 that played today in early, have some success, get a little bit of a sweat going. Certainly, we talked about the start earlier. Us having some early offensive success, I think, slowed their offensive push down, and that was critical. But I expected, Fairfield to fight back. That's a team that's won a bunch of games this year. They've gone on the road and won some Power 4 games. It's a team that just ran right through their league. So, they made a push back at us in the second quarter, and I was pleased with our answer right before half. So, and then coming out of halftime, we wanted to get some things reestablished, and I thought we did that in the third quarter.
Last question from Arn.
Just wondered if what you might be able to take from what Liberty sort of did and to get back in the game with Kentucky, or did you even get a chance to see any of that down the stretch?
I did not. I did not. I did not. We were, when you're looking at a 26-minute window, you've got to do all your pre-prep while that game is going on. So when you're the second game in this and you've got 26 minutes, you've got to do our normal stuff. For me is to talk to the team about 40 minutes before, all that stuff. So my staff was able to see some of that. They'll communicate that to me. Obviously, it was a great game. I did catch a little bit of it in the third quarter. At that point, it was about a 12, 13-point game, but Liberty was hanging around, and I only caught 3 or 4 minutes. So obviously, it was a great game, and Kentucky did a great job of pulling it out. So we'll dig into that later, so I don't have anything for you on that, Arn.
Thank you very much. This concludes the press conference. Appreciate you. Just a reminder that Hammond Communications will post a recording in the NCAA Digital Media Hub, and transcripts are provided by ASAP. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Coach.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations.